Hey neighbors, producer Christine here, recording from WIPA Radio, Uptown Central Station, located inside the new Poet Gardens at 13002 Philadelphia Street. For more information to learn how you can become a DJ, a sports announcer, or have your own program here at the station, reach out. Go to WIPAradio.com or email info@WIPAradio for more information. Now on to our community corkboard announcements. Every Friday from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., join the Whittier Uptown Association for their weekly Uptown Whittier Farmers Market, located in the parking lot on the corner of Philadelphia Street and Bright Avenue. If you're interested in becoming a vendor, send an email over to farmersmarket@whittieruptown.org with Farmers Market Vendor in the subject. And on the 4th of July, we have our annual 4th of July Spectacular. Thank you so much to the City of Whittier Parks and Recreation Department who do their overtime for that day. So this is going to be on the 4th of July from 5 to 9 p.m. when the fireworks go off, probably around 8 o'clock when it gets a little darker. It's $5 to come on in, so please bring the family, enjoy yourselves. I believe kids 3 and under are free. So I'm going to put up the Facebook event. You can go there for more information. And it'll take place at York Field, which is on the corner of Slauson and Santa Fe Springs Road in West Whittier. If you already have 4th of July plans, no worries. The City of Whittier Parks and Recreation Department saves the day again. So if you're interested in doing something on Saturday, July 6th at dusk, head on over to Michigan Park, 8228 Michigan Avenue in Whittier, in East Whittier. And they will be putting on the movie for their movie in the park this month. It is Mary Poppins Returns. I love Mary Poppins. I love Emily Blunt. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. So hopefully I'll be able to make it and I can see you there. Are you a fan of Frida Kahlo's artwork? Well, join Casita del Pueblo as they host their Viva la Frida Fest. This year, it's bigger and better. It's going to be located in the same parking lot where we have the Farmers Market on the corner of Philadelphia and Bright Avenue. This is taking place Sunday, July 7th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. I've put in the Facebook invitation down below. It is a free event to attend here in Uptown Whittier, and it's great to celebrate our culture that we have here. So please come on down, and I hope to see you there. Alrighty, so as you guys know, I attended the June 24th Disney Tribute Band Summer Concerts in the Park. It was such a great time. If I saw you, it was wonderful to say hi and meet you. And if you saw me, please next time come up and say hello. I love to say hi, meet the people all the time. So let's go down this list about what's coming up. So as you know, on July 1st and July 4th, they're taking the week off because of the wonderful holiday, the 4th of July. So remember, we have 2 concerts every single week. We have concerts on Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. On Monday at Central Park, 6532 Friends Avenue, join the Amanda Castro Band as they perform jazz hits. Again, this is July 8th at 7 p.m. in Uptown Whittier. Now, this next one is going to be amazing. So this is going to be at Parnell Park at 7 p.m. on Thursday, July 11th, a week after the 4th of July. And this is going to be the Selena Tribute Band. Okay, if you don't know who Selena is, go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go to Tidal, wherever you listen to your music. Type in Selena Quintanilla, and it's not Selena Gomez. It's like Bidi Bidi Bam Bam. It is just like the classic Reina de Tejano music, the Reina de Cumbia. It's awesome. So I'm definitely going to be there. I'm sure my sisters are also going to be there. My little sister, Megan, she has this really great outfit that she wears to all these like Selena tribute concerts. So I'm really excited for that. And I'm really excited to see everybody turn out for that fun event. So again, you guys, this is going to be Thursday at 7 p.m., July 11th, the Selena Tribute Band at Parnell Park, 15390 Lambert Road. And I'll give you the other concerts as they go on, but don't forget to visit cityofwhittier.org and you can learn more information about what Parks and Rec has for us this summer series. Remember everyone, parks make life better, so be sure to bring your own lawn chair and your blanket. Pets, barbecues, alcoholic beverages, and smoking are strictly prohibited, so don't even try it. If you're interested in learning more information, please call 562-567-9450. Again, we have so much wonderful culture in this town, so I want to give a special shout out to the Friends of Uptown Whittier and Marilyn Brinegar for hosting the Uptown Whittier Art Stroll. This is a monthly art stroll that we have in our community, and during the summer, it's mainly focused on families because it's open from 5 to 9 p.m. and the sunshine stays out until 8 o'clock. So again, we are so grateful for Marilyn and the Friends of Uptown Whittier for putting on this art stroll and bringing culture into our community. Again, it is Wednesday, July 10th from 5 to 9 p.m. in the wonderful Uptown Whittier. Just follow the music and be able to check out all of the cool artists and crafts that we have here in the art stroll. And if you're interested in learning more information, go on Instagram and follow Uptown Art Stroll. And our next event is the Whittier Pride Fest. Join the Whittier Pride Committee on Saturday, September 28th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Central Park in Uptown Whittier for Whittier's first ever Whittier Pride Fest. Are you interested in becoming involved in the Whittier Pride Planning Committee? Well, make sure you come on down July 3rd at 7:30 p.m. to the YMCA of Greater Whittier, which is located at 12510 Hadley Street. If you just want to email and get some more information that way, the email is prideinfo@whittieryouthbuild.org. If you're interested in participating as a vendor for the first Whittier Pride Fest, you can email pridevendors@whittieryouthbuild.org. We are so grateful for their support, so we want to give back and support them as much as possible. Again, everybody, thank you so much for listening to this week's Community Corkboard announcements. If you have anything you want to share with us, please email Christine at whatsupwhittier.com. Do you have friends who listen to podcasts and they've never heard of What's Up Whittier? You got to let them know what we got going on. So this is our 100th episode, everybody. I'm so grateful that you guys have tuned in, you've listened, you've subscribed, you've downloaded, and here we are at this place today. Again, thank you so much. We really couldn't have done this without you, without your support. So again, you can follow us on social media. Follow at What's Up Whittier on Facebook, Twitter, and What's Up 562 on Instagram. You can follow me, producer Christine, at The Singing Moon. And you can also follow Jessie and Remo. Remo is at Remo the Realtor. If you are looking to buy or sell your home, just Google Remo the Realtor or visit remotherealtor.com and set up an appointment there. And if you're interested in following Jessie the Architect, we talk a little bit about the project that he works on here in the podcast. So visit Jessie's firm, j2architects.com. And also follow Jessie on Instagram at j2architects. He has some workshops periodically, so the best way for you to get some information about how you can improve your home is to follow at j2architects on Instagram or like j2architects on Facebook. Again, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. It's a very special episode for me, and I'm sure for the guys as well, because it's like finally episode 100. But yeah, so thank you so much for tuning in, for supporting, and I'm very grateful for all of the ears that are listening to this. Thank you so much, and take it away, Jessie and Remo.
What's up, Whittier?
Dun, da, da, dun, da, da, dun, da, da, da.
Oh man, you're racing. You're galloping.
Off to the races? Are we?
Yeah, off to the races. Actually, about galloping. If you guys have ever seen any of our videos with Marley, our dog in the morning, when he gets like a treat, he gallops, and it's the cutest thing. So that's today's in lieu of Marley and the race. No. So, what's up, Whittier?
That's right, man. What's up, Whittier?
Can you guys believe 100 episode? This is our 100th episode.
The big scene. Mil? What is it?
Cien.
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 Cien. In Arabic, for those that want to know, it's... what is it?
Oh, man, you already lost it, man.
Maya.
Maya?
Yeah, Maya.
Maya, like Maya?
Yeah, but Maya.
Maya.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Maya episode. So there's a lot of episodes.
I'd say if you had to just quickly think about the last, like one that stands out, what would it be?
Maybe because it's most recent. The Dude Be Nice one was great. That's just the one that and they're probably 5 stories above us right now.
Yeah.
So that one stands out. And maybe I saw their Instagram about 10 minutes ago, and that's why it stands
that's
out.
why they sing. It's funny. Sometimes I'll be working in here, and I just like see them walk by, and Brenner will just like wave. Nice.
Yeah. The other one that stands out, and it's kind of weird because I think they're not in business anymore. I'm not sure. It was Maternafit.
Right.
Yeah.
That one
When
was
we were
an
doing
interesting
workouts,
one.
Yeah.
When we were doing live workouts,
Yeah.
I thought that was a little interesting. Did we ever do any other like things where we had to participate in the business or in the?
A lot, man.
Well, which other one? With Manny, I think we did some stuff.
Oh yeah, some
I
participation.
mean, we had all the restaurants where we ate.
Yeah, but were we actually like
physically
physically did something?
I remember that when we did the Cielo Beauty Bar, Marissa was like, "I want to give these guys a tan."
Yeah, I didn't.
And you guys are not about the tan life.
The I don't know if the tan spray goes through like chest hair. And
Oh no, we're good. She's gonna give you a wax and everything.
Yeah, we are good on that.
Become the Latin lover, man.
Yeah, you might get one strip out of me, and I'll run to the races.
Yeah, we've had people like offer facials before, and I don't think we did that. It's just
No, physically, I don't
interesting.
think we've had anything other than just.
What about at
do it.
Jerry's? Didn't you guys like do some stuff at Jerry's
Oh,
at Titan Edge Fitness?
At Titan Edge Athletics, we did. No, we just put on gloves and we pretended like we were doing something. It was just for the photo op. It was really. I don't think we did anything, right?
No.
You were like a kid in a playground though, because you were just
Yeah.
playing with everything.
They have a
while
lot
we
of
were-
neat toys there.
Yeah.
So it's not your typical just gym with weights and stuff. So or fitness center, studio, whatever the title might be.
Yeah, you know, Coach Jerry does a lot of dynamic type of training, so it's really cool that.
Yeah.
I just really like watching him online and on Instagram. It's like, this is how you strengthen your ACL. I'm like, what? I didn't even like, what? Like, that never occurs to you.
Jerry's
you know?
a fitness nerd, which is
That's
really
awesome.
cool. He tells me sometimes when I go there and I'm working out with him or something, or one of the other guys, he'll start telling me the science. I'm just tell me what to do. I don't need to know
I don't need to know why. I just,
all the dynamics of it. I just need to know that if I'm doing it right.
What about a podcast that's been very touching? Like one that impacted you in a certain way?
Well, the last one or the one before?
Just
I
any
know,
of them.
Biggest of any.
God, the name escapes me.
Rob Marin.
Rob, that's it. Rob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rob the Realtor.
Yep. Yeah, that one was pretty
Impactful.
powerful. Yeah. Yeah, I think as far as emotion wise, that's the most emotional episode we probably have ever got. So,
Right. I would say that Rob was very vulnerable in
Yeah.
that space, and
Yeah.
I mean, also so was I, quite
Yeah.
frankly. And I think I cut that part out of the episode, but you know, I did share like kind of a trigger warning for some people because it, like, even listening back to it, it was kind of heavy.
Yeah.
You know, but it's so real, like what goes on in regards to domestic violence.
And did you guys see or hear about the Simi Valley or up north in the valley, the guy that with the machete killed his wife? So Mary from our team, her sister lives in that complex.
Oh my gosh!
And she
No
was
way.
like a door or two over, and she was interviewed by the police and by the news and so forth. But this guy who was in his 30s, just probably not all there, and took a machete to his wife.
I think I did, and I think that if I recall correctly, it was like a part of the story was that they were just posting on Facebook, like, or on Instagram, social media, like the day before or that day or something, like, oh, I love my husband, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
you know. But there's that disparity, you know, of couples that put a lot on media in order to
That's why I don't put anything on
influence their
media.
life. Boom. Happy life. You live happier that way.
Well, that might be how it's portrayed. Since Mary's, obviously it's her sister that lives there. She said that it obviously wasn't that way. That she was very scared to ever come out of her own home. And the day before, like the gentleman and her husband or her boyfriend, they actually confronted each other. And and the next day they kind of heard them fighting, and
Oh my gosh.
right after that happened.
And
So
that.
anyway, so that was
Yeah.
a heavy episode, and it was real recent that that happened. God, I think it was last week. So
You know what?
Wow.
for you guys,
Well, what are you good, Jesse?
The most impactful podcast for me, I mean, that one was one definitely, I think, more recent. But even the other ones, I think the ones that have been, for me personally, is two. One was the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
And then the other one was with the, what's that closet?
Bridge of Faith.
Bridge of Faith.
Wow.
Just because for me, anytime you're dealing with organizations that deal with like youth or just, families that are looking to kind of do something better and kind of move ahead and make a better life, it's
the American dream.
It's kind of cool to see that there's groups out there that are supporting stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, even their stories and how they originated and how they're doing stuff. Again, not publicly or widely known as you would think they would.
Yeah, Carol's story is very impactful, especially because that's how she lived as in her youth, and for her to be able to kind of bring it full circle and empower other young women, that's so great. I agree. And then that was also a really cool episode because I've just always wanted to know what goes on at that house ever since I was in elementary school across the street from it, and to really understand the message now as a woman, that was very impactful. And the Sir Optimist group as well, they also empower young women, and that's always very exciting. But one impactful episode that really helped shape my thinking is we did one with Eva a million years ago. It was the second one we ever recorded, and I've had the opportunity to listen to that a few times, and I didn't know her that well at the time, but now I know her a lot better. It's been a few years. It's so right, everything that she talks about. I think one thing that she said is, your vision, if you don't have, you need to have a clear vision in order to execute what you want, and you need to create those action steps. And that's essentially law of attraction, or creating your own destiny in that way. Is that, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that was really before I became spiritually inclined or anything like that. And so that's why that episode is very impactful for me specifically. So shout out to Eva, and shout out to everybody else who we've been talking about. You should go back and listen to those episodes.
Talk about listening to the old episodes. Which one's one that you can re-listen to over and over?
Oh my gosh. That, Remo, you don't get to answer that question because you don't listen to the podcast.
And for me, I'm pulling up the Instagram to see the pictures.
Which one would you want to record again?
Oh, that's a good one. Definitely all the ones with April. Those are always a lot of fun. I love Pescadora. I liked the one, the CC the Love episode was a lot of fun also. I thought that was really cool.
For me, the one I could re-listen to over and over was the one we did with Colleen.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That was a favorite.
That one was,
too.
That was actually the one I was going to say.
I mean, there's so much knowledge in that episode that, if you're a beer geek, I mean, it's...
That's episode 11.
You can listen to that over and over, man. And I could do that one over and over again, too. Right? I mean, we had the opportunity to do it again, man. It'd be fun.
Yeah, why not? I think we might try and, with Colleen specifically. Because I'll make it happen. No, Colleen, if you're out there.
Yeah, I mean, she was pretty good. I mean, I think
but I read or heard something that she's not drinking beer anymore.
Oh,
really?
Is that true?
Oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe
I have no idea. I know that Colleen does a Buyers and Brews event with Paul and Tiffany. Uh-huh. So, I mean, she's a certified Cicerone, so she can probably, provide stuff for us and talk about it.
Let's give her a call. 1-800-COLLEEN and see if...
Call into Colleen.
The episode that I think I could listen over and over is my episode, because I think it's really...
Oh, man. Anyway.
Yeah, that is a nice one.
Just kidding.
It is a nice one. You talk about your engagement party, how that was a big surprise, but how Veronica threw that surprise for you guys at the Knotted Apron. You talked about how you got the nickname Remo, which I think is really fun. I remember those. I don't remember anything about your episode, Jesse, but no, I'm just kidding.
I have no idea how you remember all this stuff.
If I could redo another one, just because, and redo in the sense that it was good, but it could be better, was the one with Triple Tavern.
Oh my God, that one was a lot of fun.
Like that one was really good. I mean, just the stuff that we were talking about and eating.
Yeah, they're so
but
great.
I think it was just like the time we were doing it at. Kind of, there's a lot of things happening at the same time. There was a little kind of.
I think maybe like that type of episode could have been done on a Monday when there aren't like big crowds in Uptown. You know, I really did like the outdoor patio experience. Did you guys enjoy the outdoor patio recording experience?
Yeah, I did. I just next time when we do it, I definitely have to come more with an appetite, because that episode, they probably fed us more in that episode than I think I've ever eaten, and it was a shame because I had just had a quick snack and.
Oh, that's right. You know,
there's no such thing as quick snack for you, man.
No, I inhale like my snack is like 3 minutes. My quick snack is like 2 minutes.
It's like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, no, ever since that episode, and I can totally see, we can see them from the studio here in the WIPA radio. There's a big pillar, but I can see it. I remember eating the elote fries, and I have never gone back. And actually, I think they also served us like this pineapple cider, because they have a lot of ciders, and they talked about why they had a lot of ciders, and that's really cool. And they were like, "Oh, have you ever tried the pineapple cider?" I was like, "No." It's like, "Oh, I'll get you one with tahini rim. It's so good." And literally, that's the only thing I get whenever I go there. It's the elote fries and the pineapple cider. It's so good.
No, definitely a good place to go eat a burger.
Oh, the burgers are money. I like the little slider, the cute little slider things.
Yeah. What's I was gonna say. So, I know we talked about which one would you want to re-record, but is there anyone that you would think that we're not tapping into? Like, there's one like, man, I think it's we got to put this on the queue.
Well, I think it's on the queue, which is the Modern Shaman, right? I know we talked about them, so they're on the queue. And for me, the one I'm really excited about, and I don't know if we can announce it or not. So, Christine, if you need to edit this, you can.
Okay.
Which is Ruth B. Shannon.
Right.
So I'll let you. Can we talk about it? Or?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about it.
Well, we'll put it out there, right? We're gonna eventually get that going, and that'd be fun. I mean, that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm very, we're very fortunate to live in a town where we have access to our local government, and so I think when we interviewed Fernando a few months ago, he thought it was a great idea, and he's like, "Yeah, definitely, I'm so super into it." And then the next week when we interviewed Joe, he was also very into it, and so I've been in contact with both of them, and Ruth B. Shannon is also very into it. So we just sent out some, questions, kind of just to help her preface a little bit and know a little bit more about what we do on the podcast, and look up some free dates and see, when we're going to be able to do that. But keep that on your purview. Everybody follow us at What's Up Whittier to learn more, and just to stay in the know of when we're going to interview Ms. Ruth B. Shannon.
And if we do it, we're probably going to do it in our hall?
Yes, at the Ruth B. Shannon Center. So part of the logistics, right,
We're throwing it out there.
It's not confirmed yet, but here we are. You guys are all invited.
Right. Part of the logistics is just that we need to confirm with her dates, and then the availability at the hall.
If anybody listening out there, if you know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows her, just throw it out there.
Boom. Yeah. And it's been pretty cool. Just kind of thinking about what to ask her and sending those questions their way. But also, I haven't even shared this with you two yet. I just got the confirmation from Chef yesterday. For our 111th episode, in 11 episodes, we're going to do a live show on the patio of the brewery. So that'll be really exciting, because hopefully that'll be by the end of August, beginning of September, I guess. And that'll be around the same time when the brewery is going to be open. Nice. Projected at this moment. So yeah.
So it'll be 111, 112, in the 110s.
No, for sure. I think 111 is a really cool number. So to have that here at our new home is really special.
Well, before we get into our guest there, I want to throw it out there to our listeners. I lately, very recent, I got into eating an Impossible Burger.
Oh, interesting.
Which is amazing. I mean, I didn't realize it was all veggie made patty. So if listeners out there, if you have a recommendation on where I could go get a very delicious Impossible Burger.
What is Impossible Burger? Is it like the big burgers where you?
No, it's
It's the one we have at Modern Shaman.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's a patty.
It's a
Yes,
patty.
I
a
thought it was
patty.
one of those like 8-pound
like a huge,
burgers.
like it's impossible to eat or
No.
something. Like if you eat
I was
it in
I'll
an
go with
hour, you get it for free.
Eat it together.
I mean, we've been at Modern Shaman a couple times, and man, that burger's amazing, man. So
Is that your guys' favorite thing on the menu? I mean, we can talk about this when we have Modern Shaman on, but man, their food is so good. So
anybody
good.
out there, I got a challenge for you. Find the best Impossible Burger.
So that's the name of the actual patty.
Correct.
The Impossible
okay.
Burger.
Well, with that said, who is our guest today, Remo?
Producer Christine is our guest today. So Christine, welcome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We are here at the
IPA.
IPA.
IPA
Oh,
like the drink.
That's so much easier
Whittier
to remember
IPA.
now. Whittier
Whippa.
IPA.
Whippa.
Interviewing Christine.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Get to know you a little bit more and maybe share whatever you got going on with you.
Yeah.
So who's Christine?
Who is Christine, right? Well, I was born on June 14th. I'm a Gemini. I enjoy tacos on a Tuesday. No. Yeah, who is Christine? Well, I've lived in Whittier for like 21 years now. I went to all the schools here. I went to Ocean View, Mulberry, East Whittier, Cal High. I lived in Whittier when I went to Cal State Fullerton. Even when I had my own apartment, I couldn't get out of this town. I had my first apartment in South Whittier. And it's been a pretty cool ride being able to provide this podcast as a platform for different organizations in the community and being able to network with a lot of good people. You know, not just the fact that, oh, it's so cool, like we interviewed Turnbull's Tavern or, you know, getting to say hi to Mike and Kim at Modern Shaman. Like, those are really cool things, and it brings the community a little closer together. But the fact that these are good people and, you know, we're giving them a platform to do this, it really fills my cup, if you guys know what I mean.
So you got into podcasting. How did you get into podcasting and why?
Yeah, so I've always been into radio. When I was little, I loved Radio Disney. And so at Disneyland, they used to have a radio station in Disneyland. And I remember during the weekdays, because when I was an only child, we would go frequently. And then my little sister was born, and then we wouldn't go as much anymore.
Yeah, you got to share.
Yeah,
That
right,
one
exactly.
out the window.
You know, until she was like 3 or 4, you know. But yeah, I would just go and I would always watch. My mom used to take me to the Radio Disney concerts. Like, you know how like Kiss FM or Amp Radio or Power 106 will have their street team events like at random shopping centers. I think like this morning, 92.3 was like at Montebello and Montebello and Whittier Boulevard giving away tickets, right? So we would go to all of those random Radio Disney events, like in Monrovia. Like, it was so fun. So I was always into radio. So the way I got into podcasting is my major in college was radio, TV, film. And towards the end of my education, I was like, man, what's like, nobody really does radio anymore. I started listening to podcasts. I've been listening to podcasts for 12 years, but when I was in college, I started listening to them more. It's because, you know, you have a smartphone, you're able to listen to it while you're driving. And I was commuting a lot. So I just really started getting into podcasts. And then as luck would have it, or kismet, or whatever you want to call it, I linked up with somebody who I used to do theater with back in the day, like when I was in high school. And he said, hey, we have a podcast. Me and my friend are developing it. She doesn't like her voice, and we really like your voice. So do you think you'd want to be on the podcast? And I remember we were walking around Uptown, and I said, yeah, definitely. That would be great. And so there was that. And when we decided to move on to other projects, I met you two. And then, you know, we've shared the story a few times. You know, I mentioned that I create podcasts. Jesse's like, oh, I love listening to podcasts. And Remo was all like, what's a podcast? So, and here we are, 100 episodes later.
That's right. That's right. And so what is it that you do now? I mean, aside from the podcasting,
right?
What else keeps you busy?
Oh man, what doesn't keep me
Or
busy?
yeah, what doesn't keep you busy?
Because as you guys know, I'm running around all the time. So I am the manager for WIPA Radio, which is an internet radio station located inside of the brewery on the corner of Philadelphia and Greenleaf. So What's Up Whittier is one of the programs. It was literally the first program that we ever had on the schedule, so that's pretty cool. And we're also developing original programming. One thing that we are developing is called The Voices of Whittier, where we interview people who have lived the majority of their lives here and Whittier through the voices of people from Whittier.
And it's actually bringing stories of that history to us today. It's almost
Right.
like going to your grandparents and asking, well, tell me a story, right? And they say, oh, well, that market never existed. It used to be this. And you're like, what? It's not, like, for example, right now what's happening is by my parents' house, they're expanding the 5 freeway. And 20 years ago, or not even 20, 10 years ago, there was a Sizzler. There was a little, like where my uncle's office was and all this other. Now you go there and it's just like this
Empty.
huge. Yeah, it's just huge.
Oh, wow.
So for us to tell my nephews, right, oh, this is where we used to go eat Sizzler and here's me doing
funny.
a Cabbage Patch. But that no longer exists. So hearing the voices from someone that obviously has seen it is kind of a cool thing because you're like, no way, that was there or this was here.
Yeah, so it's a full service format genre kind of thing. What that means, full service, is that there'll be different types of shows, so like sports shows, like a spirituality show, a political show, this show, other collection of oral histories, like the Voices of Whittier. Also, there'll be DJs coming in and spinning the, I don't know, what do you guys call it?
Ones and twos.
Spinning the ones and twos. All right, cool. Oh, you know what? We got to get Rick. That was a cool episode when he was talking about his passion for spinning, and DJing, and that was a really cool episode too. But yeah, so if people want to learn more information, they can go to WIPAradio.com. We're expecting to stream it, the end of August, beginning of September. So I'm really excited about that project.
Are these going to be pre-recorded episodes that will air during a certain time? Are they going to be live, these different episodes, like say the political one, the sports one, where people are maybe having a beer and drinking and it's like broadcasted outside, or what'll be the actual format?
Yes, it will be recorded live here in the studio. What we are doing is we record prior, and so now we're going to upload all of the stuff later. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is working with other people who want to produce their own content here in our studio. We are pre-recording it so that when it comes time to launch, I can just plug it in. Because eventually the goal for the studio, because I am essentially the only person that's staff here, the goal is that people are able to independently produce their own content, either Dropbox link it to me or, just get it to me so I can have it in the queue ready to go. So,
And is there any restrictions on that? Like if I want to talk about, a right side political issue or a left side, or
I thought you were gonna say if you want to talk about selling homes, man.
Well, hey, you can definitely market yourself that way. Absolutely.
Well, you're gonna get a bunch of commercials from me. I'm gonna flood your Dropbox.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you have a lot ready to go.
Yeah.
But in regards to controlling people's content, no. We created this in order to give a platform for people to express themselves, unless it's hateful rhetoric or, not that it's negative, and people are negative, that happens. But if it's like xenophobic, if it's very hateful, that won't be tolerated.
But someone is going to actually listen to the stuff before it's queued up, and
yeah. So that'll be me. That'll be me who just kind of listens and approves it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, but another cool thing actually about the studio and the space, not only that people can come in and record, one thing I really love is this beautiful mural behind me. My little sister painted it. She is only 20 years old, and I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to have had her do it. When Chef asked me, he's like, the guys are putting a mural in the back of the brewery. Did you want to do a mural on this wall? And I was like, yeah, definitely. That sounds really cool. He's like, okay, well, you can talk to them, check out who their artists are. If they want to, do this mural, you can arrange it. And I was like, I have a better idea. Not that the other artists aren't talented, but I mean, it's really special to me to be able to see my little sister's artwork every day when I come into work. It's very beautiful, and I'm very grateful for our parents who really encouraged us to become involved in the arts. We've always been involved in the arts, and
the last episode we had, it's been developed, right? I don't think last time there was no sky.
Correct.
And then the Black Mountains or Gray Mountains, or mountains, I should say.
Yeah, so she came in on Monday, and so she did all of those pieces. And we actually had her the first step in the process was actually for the art stroll that we had on June 12th. So we had a live art demonstration, and she was doing the mural live. And that was really nice and a lot of fun because her friends came out to support her. She was selling her prints outside. Her boyfriend was manning her booth, and
that's cute.
Yeah, it was really cute. It was really nice. So just to be able to have that memory already in this space, it's pretty dope. I'm grateful.
So when live art is happening, do people cheer you on? Do they keep going? Nice stroke.
Yeah.
I guess that's, I don't know. As I'm thinking about
absolutely.
If I'm here and I'm watching, like, do you say something? Are you quiet, like at a golf game or?
Yeah, exactly like golf, man. You applaud like silently.
Exactly. She puts she made that arrow. People are like, wow, look at those edges.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was just a really cool time, a good experience for her friends to come in and able to check out the studio a little bit. They were talking to her about it. It was, I think the coolest part about it being a live art demonstration is just seeing how art is created. Like, as you can see, there are 2 headlights up there, but there's no car. But that's just because, she would add the car in the last stage of painting, needs more detail.
I thought someone accidentally painted that.
See, exactly. So it's really cool to watch the process of kind of how that happens. Like, she started with spray paint. Like, that's, I don't know if you guys can tell, but on the green areas of the wall, she spray painted, to prime it, right, with green. And with the blue, she spray painted with white so it can stand out more. And it's the process of art. Art is so beautiful. Why not appreciate how it's made? Mm-hmm. So that would lead me to, I guess, what new stuff that I'm doing. I've been very fortunate to be nominated to be interviewed to be part of the Cultural Arts Commission for the city.
Nice.
Yeah, I applied last year, and there were really great dynamic people that they chose to be interviewed, and so I didn't make it through the first process, and that's totally fine. But I didn't apply this year, and they still nominated me. So I'm like, man, that's really cool. Like, it must have just been that last year so many great candidates applied, and I also had a lot going on, so I really didn't have as much time to devote as I do now. And then I think with the radio station, essentially giving artists a platform, I'm really excited, and I really hope that it goes well. And after I did Dancing with the Stars, I'm like, I feel reinvigorated. Like, I used to do theater when I was back in the day when I was in school, like I said, with that friend that we did podcasting. And when I went on that stage, it was like I was turned on. Like, it was electric. You know what I mean? You guys could go to What's Up Whittier on Instagram and check out the video on IGTV. But, whenever I hear that song, Girl on Fire, I get the chills now. I really do, just because it's so powerful, not only just being on stage, but being on stage in front of an audience full of people that people that we've interviewed on the podcast, and it was a really beautiful experience. So this year so far, 2019 has been really awesome, and we're only through the first half.
That's right.
I'm excited to see, what the remainder of 2019 will be, and 2020.
Were you thinking to yourself, don't trip?
I was like, shoulders back, keep it tight. Because when I came in, Rudy Hernandez, who's the choreographer, my dance partner, he was holding me up. He was lifting me above his head. And we did a couple of lifts in the dance, and that was really exciting. But during rehearsals, he'd always be like, keep it tight, like, hold your abs in, and you know what I mean? So I would have to do, like, before I left to go to Palm Park to rehearse, when I was at home, I was, like, doing 7 minutes of, like, core work, just so I could have, once your core has been worked out, it's going to stay very tight and together. So, I mean, I took that thing seriously. In 4 weeks, we had like 2 or 3 rehearsals at 6 in the morning every single, like a week, you know, and that was a really great experience. So I'm totally grateful for that as well.
Nice.
That's a huge commitment from Rudy. I mean, you were one of 6 women?
Correct.
So he has 6 women that he does, 10 rehearsals?
Yeah,
12,
so it's
15?
10 rehearsals that are provided by the Whittier Community Foundation, and then if you choose to have additional classes, you know, it's on your own tab, you know what I mean? But these people have been rehearsing for 4 months. They had since November or December. I think November, December is when they were announced and notified. And then in January, rehearsal started, and then in May was the performance. So, you know, people did a really great job for learning it in 4 months. And, you know, I did in 4 weeks. And that was totally reminded me of high school and just putting shows together like that. It was cool.
I would prefer the 4 week, because if you're doing it like day after day after day, it's just going to sink in. It's the immersion of dancing, of a language, versus 4 months. It's like, because I say this because I used to do salsa lessons, and I took like a 5 or a 7-pack or whatever they're called, and I would do it once a week, and then I would like miss, and then when we start week number 2, I'm like,
you forgot what you learned last week.
And it's just like, so I did 5 classes of the exact same class every single time, which didn't get anywhere.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it being so condensed and only having, like, literally we only had time for 10 rehearsals. It's not like I could even have the option of being like, hey, Rudy, can I do 2 more classes? Like, we didn't have that option. And it was just, I would have to practice stuff at home, because when every single time, at least in the first week, we were building on what we learned, right? And I didn't have an opportunity to be like, I've totally forgot, or what's this move, or what's that? Am I doing this correctly? So we would, the first day, Rudy and Maria did the dance, and I filmed it, and so we would do up to a certain point, and then I would just have to practice at home, because again, it's like the immersion. If you're not immersing yourself, and you totally forget, like if I did the wrong foot, and you know, towards the end, I would always, when I went into my lift, I always used the wrong foot, so I was off. You know, the weight distribution wasn't helping Rudy at all. You know what I mean? And like, he had to work harder to lift me higher. And so he would always say, switch your legs. Like, even on the night of the performance, he's like, switch your legs. And I did it, you know, and, but it was a lot of fun. Honestly, it was a great opportunity.
That's awesome. There you go, man.
You got it. You can
Inspiration
do this.
for
I'm good.
next year.
I am good. Rudy, Maria, I am good.
We'll have Rudy lift
you. I will gladly participate in a financial contribution if it includes an adult beverage or a food.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys, both of you, for supporting me and being part of my sponsor team. Thank you.
You should have probably said that, because what's going to happen is they're going to give you the option. Buy yourself out of this position. It's going to cost you X amount of dollars.
That's kind of how it goes already.
Or participate.
I'm comfortable saying no. So I wore my big boy pants and be like, hell no.
Very cool. Very cool.
Man. What else you got going on, Christine?
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I'm sure people in the community have already heard this, because when I called Mayor Joe the other morning to talk to him about this, he was like, "Oh yeah, I already heard about it. This town is so small."
What news do we have for our 100th episode?
Oh my gosh. Now that I told Mayor Joe, I will share it. I am running for mayor.
No longer producer Christine. She has elevated to Mayor Christine.
Thanks.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you. Let's put it out there, Mayor Christine. Yeah, absolutely. So I called and I spoke with all of the city council members and Joe, our mayor, and I just let them know that I really respect what they do as public servants for our community. It's important that you have people that are passionate about the city that they live in to want to be involved. And so I'm running for mayor, not because I think that, they're doing a bad job. There are a lot of improvements that we've had in the last year, and I'm excited to see, what's going to happen moving forward. I just think it could be different. The trajectory of where we're heading in this community. I think Alex Moisa in our last episode made a really good point that we're lacking vision. And I had the opportunity to visit a lot of Uptown merchants here, and I had them sign a petition in regards to moving forward with the Uptown Streetscape Plan. And, that took a long time. Government takes a really long time, and so why does it have to be that way? Why aren't there different processes in place? Like, what can we do as a community in order to make things happen for the benefit of our community, right? Not for the detriment.
So are we going to go into like details how we're going to make it better, or in this episode, or will there be a follow-up episode?
Well, I think we'll have a follow-up episode, but I just want to let everybody know, because if I were to just start, then I would not stop. But I want to let everybody know that I am totally putting it out there. Everything will be known. Social media wise, my website will be live. You can go, I already have all the Christine for Whittier, so you can go on social media right now and like Christine for Whittier on Facebook. You can go to Christine for, and this is FOR Whittier, not the number 4. And you can go to Instagram, Christine for Whittier, and on Twitter, you can go to Christine for 562 because Whittier is like too many letters. But yeah, and so my website is also Christine for Whittier, number 4 or the word 4. Either will go to the same landing page. But yeah,
Very
guys,
cool.
Oh my gosh, it's really exciting. This and this was not my idea. I really didn't plan on running for mayor. If anything, I initially wanted to be part of the school board. I am passionate about children's health, and we are seeing a rise in childhood obesity occur, and it's really disturbing for the future of our community, and it really bothers me, at least. So when I told someone that, yeah, I'm interested in running for school board, they said, Christine, you should run for mayor. I'm like, what? Really? Why? I mean, I'm at the time I was only 26. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready. I think I need to wait my time. Like, I should run for school board first, and then I should do this. And they're like, but Christine, you're already doing it. The fact that you're already going to city council, the fact that you have this podcast and you're giving a platform to let other people in our community discover each other, the fact that, you went to the state of the city and you recorded it live and you put it on Instagram. That accessibility is not available to everybody. And one of the ways that I do think that we can improve is having more accessibility, because we have a lot of workshops. At least in this past year, we had Envision Whittier workshops. You guys remember hearing about that? Creating the new plan for the city for the next 20 to 30 years. I went to about 3 of them, and I went to some that were like, right after work, maybe like 5 or 6 o'clock. I would go to one in the evenings. I could not make it to the Saturday workshops, but I was able to attend like one with the commissioners. That was super cool. Like the Parks and Recreation Commission, they're talking about like Don Marla. He's on that commission, and Chris Hardiman, who we had on the podcast. And, it's just a very interesting perspective just to hear them say, oh, well, maybe we should add access to the Greenway Trail from Whittier Boulevard. Oh, yeah. Like, that's a great idea, Don, because Don always runs the Greenway Trail, right? Over by 5 Points, he was talking about an access point. And just being with the Parking and Transportation Commission, they were discussing having a people mover, which we are moving forward in the plan. Mayor Joe talked about it in his podcast episode. So, these are really great improvements and stuff. But my issue was that I was one of the only 20-somethings there almost every time, less than a handful of 20-somethings. So how can you create or develop a plan for a city when it's not accessible to people, when these meetings aren't at diverse times, or isn't childcare provided? And, this is just one perspective, but I think it's a perspective that's missing.
So, can I ask, what would you do to create that access? Like, is there something that you have in mind that you say, what we're missing, or what I think we should do is this, and this is how we would execute on this?
Right. I think hitting the ground hard, on social media is really key. I just noticed the engagement that I receive on What's Up Whittier, and I mean, we don't need, sometimes we talk about local government, and I understand that, you know, the city TV3, you know, people can watch city council meetings on TV. Well, not a lot of millennials have televisions anymore. A lot of millennials are cord cutters. So why don't we have access via social media? Why isn't there more transparency? You know, I was on Facebook today, and, you know, obviously everything on Facebook, if it's there, it's true. I was on Facebook today, and someone had posted an article about the trees in Uptown with the Uptown Streetscape Plan. And there's so much misinformation on there. But if, like, someone commented, oh, wow, I can't believe they're getting rid of all the trees, or tree killers. And then another person said, well, you know, they're getting rid of every other tree, but the trees impact the plumbing that happens in Uptown, and it really ruins for the businesses. There wasn't proper planning done when they knew about the roots. Like, they didn't do enough research on the roots of the trees, right? And how they would grow. They grew out. They grew underneath businesses and impacted their plumbing. So, I mean, that's a way to get information out there. And so when somebody went on there to correct what the idea was, that added more transparency. But the fact that this decision happened weeks ago and people didn't know about it up until today, a good majority of people learned about it today when someone else had posted about it. That's not cool with me. And I don't necessarily think that government should be quiet, because when government is quiet, then who's the government working for? You know what I mean? It's like, are you guys quiet when your bosses ask you, well, you guys are your own boss. I mean, I have a boss. So, like, if Ricardo were to come in here, you know, he's like, oh, did you do the research on this, this, and that, and that? And then I'll tell him, yes, I did. I was looking at this piece. I was looking at that, these mixers. And, you know, and so we have that type of rhetoric. And I don't really see that type of rhetoric being expressed. I think we should have town halls, you know, as an opportunity for people to go out there. And I know that there have been in the past. And if it's really about a poignant issue, a lot of people will turn out. Some really great responses that I saw from the community were for the No-Tell 6 issue. They wanted to, people were protesting having a Motel 6 being built on the corner of Whittier and Calmada on Whittier Boulevard in that area. You know, so it's just interesting. And then another great turnout with a lot of people from the community was in regards to the Greenbelt encampment. You know, that was the biggest turnout I've ever seen at a city council meeting. I mean, you guys have been to City Hall. They had chairs, like folding chairs, set up on the ground floor, you know, like in the lobby. And there was standing room only, and there was capacity. And I remember Captain Barr of the Whittier PD just standing at the door, and he literally had a clicker, you know. He's like, okay, well, 314 people, you can't come in. And then if one person left, he's like, okay, you can go in. It's like, well, I'm not really going to sit anywhere, so there's no point. I'm very fortunate enough to know people who are sitting next to empty seats, and I'm like, hey, is that seat open? I'd text them, and they'll respond, yeah, it's open. So I would go, and I sat down. But again, it's that community involvement is very powerful, and the fact that everybody came out in order to support that, it was addressed. Those issues were addressed. And people didn't, and the reason why people were there is because they didn't know what was going on in regards to homelessness. And so the city manager, Jeff Collier, he read a statement. Well, wouldn't it be great if everybody knew what that statement was, so they didn't have to, like, quote unquote, waste their time and be there at City Hall? I mean, people were there because they wanted answers, right? As opposed to just watching it on the television screen. I mean, I love going to City Hall because the energy is very palpable within the city council chambers. For instance, there was like kind of not a physical scuffle, but there was an argument had over ad hoc committees. And I was not at that meeting specifically because it was my birthday week, but I was watching it on the computer. And it's completely different, the reactions. You know, I had a friend text me. He's like, oh, my God, you're missing a great meeting. And I was like, no, I'm watching it online. What's going on? He's like, he's like, everyone is so mad. I was like, what do you mean? So it was really interesting. But at the end of the day, you also have to learn that the people on the dais are people. So it's okay for that to happen, for disagreements to occur, because again, I mean, we kind of had a disagreement before we started this podcast. And I mean, I respect you guys so much. But at the end of the day, we're people, right? So we all, you know, nobody's perfect. And I think that's also another reason why I'm running, is because I'm not perfect. You guys are not perfect.
I'm perfect. Just kidding.
All right, you're flawless. You woke up like this. I love Beyonce. Shout out to Beyonce. But at the end of the day, we still matter. Hi, neighbors. My name is Christine Singer-Luna, and as you've heard in this podcast episode, I'm running for mayor. So if you're interested in learning some more information about the campaign, you can head over to my website, christineforwhittier.com. That's spelled Christine, F-O-R, Whittier.com, or Christine4Whittier.com, and that'll go live on the 4th of July. On that website, you can learn about the issues that I'm campaigning on. You can learn how you can contribute via phone banking, which is calling your neighbors, canvassing, which is knocking on their doors, or how you can donate money to the website. Thank you for being a supporter of the What's Up Whittier podcast. I greatly appreciate your support because that's how we get to know our neighbors and have a more transparent town, right? So again, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Please visit the website and all social media handles, which are Christine, F-O-R, Whittier, except for Twitter, which is Christine, F-O-R 562. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your support. This message is approved by Christine Singer-Luna for Mayor 2020.
So, Christine, what do people around you who are close to you in your inner circle think about what your decision is to run for mayor?
I mean, definitely, it's a wide spectrum of responses. So, for instance, I met with my photographer, and I, was I guess courting him. I took him out to dinner because I wanted to ask, and I said, "Hey, I just wanted to let you." It's like, okay, I cannot hold this in any longer. I know this is just supposed to be a friendly dinner like that we had planned, but I'm running for mayor. And that person was like, "You have my vote. What do you need?" Like that. You know what I mean? It's because that person supports me so much in the community and believes that we need a change. There should be a healthy amount of turnover in local government. Again, not to say that these people who are currently on the dais are doing a bad job, but is it just that they've been making decisions for almost 2 decades for our town? It's an entire generation of people. Where is the active engagement in that? So that was really exciting from that person. That's just one reaction. When I asked, Mayor Joe, he was like, "Well, what am I doing wrong?" And I was like, "It's not that you're doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? Necessarily."
How did that conversation go?
It was really cool. I told him about. He's like, "Well, what did I do wrong?" And I shared with him, a little bit about my feelings about Envision Whittier. I shared with him a little bit about accessibility. We had a disagreement, and it wasn't like anything really, but his comment was that government should be quiet, and I don't believe in that. So, it was really cool, interesting conversation, and I told everybody, I am not leading a mudslinging campaign. I'm instilling within the culture of my campaign, and I would really hope my supporters also, believe in this culture, if they believe in me, that I am not out for negative campaigning. That is not how I roll. That's not how I roll as a person in real life. This is about the issues. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say, "Oh, so-and-so did this, so let's get them out." No, absolutely not. It's about what we as a community can do better and how we can help our city grow. So one interesting reaction was from my dad. My dad, the other day, he was like, "Chris," he calls me Chris. "Chris, are you sure you really want to run for mayor? You're not a homeowner, you're not a business owner, you don't have any kids. Like, why do you think you can run for mayor?" And, that kind of hurt, right? Because it's like your dad. It's your creator who's questioning whether or not.
Wait, Dad, are you voting for me? I need to know now.
Stop there. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, yeah, interesting. He always asks me help with the ballot because I'm more involved and I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about the different issues that go on with the propositions and stuff like that. And I totally spoke to my dad as if he was a constituent because he's a potential future constituent. And I said, "Dad, just because I'm not a homeowner, I am a business owner, right? Technically on this podcast. Just because I don't necessarily check those boxes and I don't have kids doesn't mean that I don't want that in the future. And that doesn't mean I don't want to set the foundation, to set a positive foundation in order to develop that and feel secure in that, yes, I want to bring kids into this world. You know, if we do oil drilling, do I even still want to live in this town? You know what I mean? These are big decisions that can affect, again, a generation of people. And I also told him, and you know, just because I don't check those boxes doesn't mean I don't represent those people. You guys are homeowners. You guys have, well, Remo, you have a dog child, and you know, you have kids, Jessie.
A child.
You have 2 childs, Jessie. And you guys, you know, you pay your taxes, you pay your business license fees and all that stuff in this town. Are you getting equitable representation? Right? We have so many people investing money into our community. Are they getting equitable representation? We have disenfranchised communities that are in West Whittier that haven't had lights on their street ever. And it's an area of high gang activity. Are they getting equitable representation? That's where I'm coming from. At the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about the community. That's really how I feel. So yeah. And I honestly hear it all the time. People talk to me all the time about their problems, and I do my best that I can in order to support them. Mayor Joe just informed me about this process. If you guys have any issues at all, you can email me, Christine, at whatsupwhittier.com, and so then I could forward that over to anybody on the council. But he told me that when they receive those types of emails, they forward those onto the city manager, and the city manager will forward that onto the city staff. So, I mean, heck, guys, I'm running for mayor, so email Christine at whatsupwhittier.com, or actually hello at christineforwhittier.com, just so I can keep it a little bit more organized. Hello at christineforwhittier.com. And then I'll forward those on to the city manager. Why not? I mean, why can't I do that? You know what I mean? So that's really why I'm doing it.
So what did your mom say?
I love my mom so much. I told her, like, in the morning, she's like, Chris, I haven't even had my coffee yet.
Don't talk to me later.
Yeah. And then
She said that, or you said that?
She said that.
Oh.
She's like, Chris, are you serious? I have not even had my coffee yet. And then I was like, yeah, Mom. And I have a photo shoot later today. So do you think you could do me a favor and go and grab blah, blah, blah? And then, yeah, and then she's my personal stylist. All of my good friends know my mom is my stylist. And so she went and she got me some stuff. And so I took photos with my photographer. So when we launch on July 4th, you got to see all those cool photos that I took, nice little headshots that I got.
Nice. So, well, with that said, I mean, is there anything else you got going on, Christine? I know you're part of, and Remo's giving us a finger now.
That's so true. Hi, Remo.
What's next? I mean, you talked about running for mayor, but aside from that, what's next? I mean, what else?
Or what does that process maybe look like? Are you allowed to share? I think you mentioned July 4th. You have some pictures, or your
Yeah. So on the 4th of July, you know, this country may have its problems, but one thing that you can do is you have the right to run to be a local representative. It's my right as an American to vote. It's my right as an American to represent people, and it's my right as an American to run for mayor. So that is why on the 4th of July, that is my formal campaign kickoff. And you guys, again, so check out all of the social media stuff going on. We got Christine, F-O-R, Christine for Whittier. And you can go to christineforwhittier.com. And I will update as it goes along when we're going to have our first meeting, our first campaign kickoff meeting, you know, talk about some fundraisers because, quite frankly, guys, mailers are expensive, signs are expensive, and I want to give that out to the community and, you know, give them the opportunity to see who is running. And I really want to run a legit campaign. So what I need from people is I need phone bankers. If you don't know how to phone bank, if you don't know how to call people on the phone, you can text bank. So I already have a campaign office. I want to give a very special shout out to one of my really close friends, Carla Morell. We recorded the podcast episode for Whittier Pride in her office, and we also recorded her podcast episode when she talked about Camino Counseling Center, Camino Family Counseling. So that is where my office is going to be. I'm going to have a cute little corner office. And what's really special, again, about that space is that I used to work upstairs. So when, like, you know, over a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, when someone told me I should run for mayor, I, like, had a vision of my, like, you know, you kind of see things, like, just kind of how I imagine myself being on stage for Dancing with the Stars. And literally the next day I got a phone call saying, hey, Christine, one of our dancers dropped out. You want to do it? You know, I had a vision, like, because we had that space for the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2016, and I was like, man, how cool would it be if I had my campaign office here one day? And now I do. Right next door is my campaign office. So that's at 14408 Whittier Boulevard, Suite A7. And again, follow all social media because we need phone bankers, we need text bankers, we need canvassers. If you guys, you live in this town, if you want to walk around your neighborhood and be like, hey, this is what I believe in this girl, this woman, and she believes in all of us as a community. Let's support her. People want to provide resources. That would be awesome as well. I have a big donate button on my website that I'm developing. And yeah, because I'm currently on Wix.com. Shout out to Wix. Really cool. Like you can just put stuff together. They don't sponsor this podcast, but they should. So word out
Sounds
to
like
Wix.
we're going to have to send an invoice on somebody.
On that. But yeah, so again, just keep an eye out for all future events coming up. I'm planning on having the cafecito with Christine, coffee with Christine. I plan on having town halls. I want to learn about not just of the people that are within my sphere, what they're going on, but also the people on the peripherals that maybe I don't see all the time. I don't always hang out in West Whittier, and there are some shops that I go to like in West Whittier on the boulevard, and I interact with people there. But I don't really necessarily interact with the people who live there unless they come to Uptown or anything like that. It's different. I interact with my neighbors in East Whittier all the time because, I'm out jogging. I say hi. I'm on the Greenway Trail. I'll say hello to people at the parks. It's really great that way. But again, so Christine for Whittier on all social media, and we'll let you know about when you can get together with me. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me hello@christineforwhittier.com. And yeah, guys, that's what I got going on. Anything else other than that, go to WIPAradio.com to learn a little bit more about the radio station that we plan to develop for this community.
Very cool. Very cool.
And let's hit you with some Whittier questions, Christine.
Oh, man. These are the tough ones.
See if it's changed.
So what, if you were to pick one?
What?
That's when it's tough.
That's the hard one.
Because a lot of people, what I've noticed is they're like, well, it's this. They almost like pull up Yelp or something and just list all the businesses.
Fair enough, yeah.
We should just nail down people. What is the one thing? And maybe it could change over time, but at this moment, what is your go-to place?
And I'm not going to say this just because I work for the corporation, but oh my God, the agua chile from Bizarra Capital, you guys.
Bizarra Capital.
From Bizarra Capital. Yeah, so good. I love the agua chile. The margaritas are so great. That was one of the first restaurants I love. And flight for a second, but that's it. That was my second. I'm not going to provide any others.
By the way, if you guys ever, when you go back, and Remo, if you ever get a chance to swing on down there on Bizarra, they have this really good drink, man. It's one of those drinks where you got to take it easy because it kind of creeps up on you fairly quickly, man. It's
200 plus, Jesse.
It's called Pepino Vago, man. Which
oh my God, yes.
It's amazing, man. Anyways.
All right, so and what is a fond memory of the lovely city of Whittier?
Well, very fortunate to have lived here for such a long time. But honestly, my favorite memory was you guys are in it. It's this podcast. I've been able to just find so much opportunity because of this podcast, because of what we do for our community, getting to network and meet so many people. It's really been a great, exhilarating experience. You know what I mean? I was telling my sister today that William Shakespeare has a quote, and it's, the world is a stage and we are merely its players. And from that quote, what I take from it is, life is its own play. We're just reading the script as it goes on. We don't know what's going to happen. And so when these synchronicities occur, it's like you have to just see the beauty that is life, and I think that if I did not go to Forking Good by myself during the Christmas parade, and if I had gone to another restaurant, I would have never met you guys, and we would not be in this room right now. And Jesse, you would not be I don't know, you wouldn't be the architect for this project.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly. And just Remo, you would have never married Eva. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. He probably would have. Ricardo would never be watching us. He's looking. Wow, he's making faces. That's funny. So it's really great. This podcast is a wonderful memory. I'll treasure it forever.
Awesome.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Last question. If one thing is missing in Whittier, what will that be?
A millennial mayor. So vote Singer Luna for Whittier, March 2020. If you are not registered to vote at your current address, you can go to lavote.net, or you can email hello@christineforwhittier.com, and you can go onto the website. There are links to register to vote there as well.
Is it hello like hello?
Is it me you're voting for?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You like that song? You don't know that song? It's
Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie.
Or Adele. Hello, is it me you're looking for? It's Adele, yeah?
Is it Adele?
I
No,
can
it's Lionel
see
Richie.
it. She sings a version. She does a cover of it.
All right.
Hello.
A lot of people say hello.
That tells you how much I listen to music, man.
Alrighty.
I listen to music as you listen to podcasts.
Boom.
Exactly.
Okay, guys.
Well, Christine, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's
And,
been a pleasure.
There you go. And off to the next one.
On to the next one. Amen. Cheers.
Bye,
See
Whittier.
you later, Whittier.